Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Benita and on this channel I tackle lifestyle, commentary, faith videos and so much more. If you're returning, thank you so much for being here. Today's video is on protecting your peace. Protecting your peace means caring for and safeguarding your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual self. I'd like to start off this video by asking you a question. Now, if you hear any dogs barking in the background, I need to apologize, but I have neighbors and the dogs just go crazy whenever I decide to record. It's crazy. It's like they have a sixth sense and it's really frustrating. But hopefully you won't be able to hear them that much. So my question is, have you ever been in a situation where you've had an interaction with a specific person and after your interaction with that person, the situation just left you feeling a little bit stressed out, drained, or uneasy? I know I have. And it's not necessarily to say that that person is a bad person, because most of the time those people are not bad. It's just that sometimes they affect you in a negative way, and sometimes it's not even intentional on their part. It just happens. So when these situations do happen, it's important for you and for me to learn how not to let these situations or these people affect us in a negative way. Of course, people are not the only things that can affect your peace. There are so many other things that can negatively impact us. Things such as fear of the unknown, fear of death, or worry about the future, or the constant need to please those around us, and so much more. There are so many things that can go on that list. I personally have struggled with the fear of the unknown, which I think is not even that uncommon. A lot of people have the same struggle, I think, as me. The problem is when you let those fears and those thoughts take over in such a way that they now consume your life and lead you into anxiety or depression, which, as we know, is not a fun place to be in. I've written down a few tips on how we can actually protect our peace. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm looking at my notes. So tip number one is to avoid people who drain your energy. This one is really hard to do, especially because we're human and we interact with different people on a day-to-day basis, whether it's at work with our colleagues, at school with our peers. Even just by going to the grocery store, we interact with the cashiers, and sometimes those people can actually do things or say things that can affect us in a negative way. And the worst is when it happens with your friends and your family, because you're close to those people and sometimes it's hard for you to be able to distance yourself, from certain situations. For example, for me, I remember I was in a situation once where this specific person that I consider a friend was really affecting me and disturbing my peace, to the point where I actually decided that it's time for me to take a step back and to reevaluate the situation. And by doing so, I realized that, you know what, I don't actually need to be friends with this person, that it's okay for us to be in the same place at times, but we don't need to chat and act as if we're best friends, because to me, she just gives off bad vibes and it ends up affecting me and staying with me for days, weeks, if not months, because I'm a very sensitive person and I tend to feel things deeply and easily, and they always stay on my mind, and I don't want those type of unnecessary things to affect me. So it's really important for us to evaluate the people that we surround ourselves with so that we know exactly who to distance from. And that is one of the most important ways in which we can actually protect ourselves and our peace of mind. The next step is to avoid spaces that don't feel right. I know someone who's able to go into specific spaces, such as someone's home, and she's able to feel out the energy that's there. And if she feels any sort of bad energy, she leaves, because it affects her. The places that we're in can actually impact us more than we realize. This could be a bar that we go to, someone's home that we go to. It could be any public space. If you don't get a good feeling, it's okay to leave. Of course, this can be hard to do sometimes. Let's say if you're with a group of friends and you guys have gone out somewhere and you say, oh guys, you know what, I feel uneasy, I think it's time for me to leave. You might be afraid of the judgment that your friends might give you, like, what is she talking about? But sometimes it's okay to have people talk about you, as long as you're doing what makes you feel comfortable. Never ever do something that makes you feel uncomfortable or puts you in an awkward situation. If you don't feel at peace in a specific environment, it's okay to remove yourself out of that environment. The next one is let go of things that you cannot control. This one is really hard to do because we all want to have some sort of control in the things that happen in our lives. But the truth is that we are not in control of everything. The more we try and control things, the more frustrated and irritated we'll become. And I say this from experience because I always want to know like exactly what's going to happen from point A to point D, and I like to have a specific plan, whether it's financially or business wise or even in my relationships. But sometimes it's okay to just let go and to take what comes. And the final step that I wanted to share with you is to keep your faith larger than your fear. It is really important to have faith. We go through our whole lives relying on faith. And if you are a spiritual person or a religious person, we rely on God. And a lot of things are going to happen in our lives that are going to make us sad, unhappy, angry, and make us go through all sorts of challenges and emotions. But we should not go through life like anticipating those things, which is something that I tend to do. Like, oh, this could happen. I always expect the worst. And that is the worst thing to do because you invite negativity into yourself. And when you invite negativity into yourself, you give out negativity to other people. So just have faith and try to stop worrying about things that are coming in the future. And of course, it's good to have a plan for your life. Do not reach a point where you're obsessively stressing. Try to increase your faith and to build your faith so that you can be able to overcome the negativity and ultimately have the peace of mind that we're all looking for. This video was literally a note to self because I'm still learning how to protect my peace. I think it's a lifelong process and journey, but hopefully the tips that I shared today were helpful. There's this quote that I found that I really, really fell in love with. It's by Ralph Waldo Emerson. It says, "Nobody can bring you peace but yourself." And this is really important for us to remember. As much as we might look for someone else to give us that peace, ultimately no one can do it but us. I really enjoyed today's topic and video, and I hope that you did too. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.